champions of this.
The fight, it is over. Canelo gets the knockout. Deontay Wilder has eradicated Brazil.
I hope it never happens with Wilder. How's that? I hope it never happens with him. That's the truth.
Yo, you know what this is, man. It's your favorite channel, man. It's CTB. This is Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. By the chin check you with this one. Yo, man. Tyson Fury's team is now threatening legal action against Deontay Wilder. Let that sink in for a minute. They are threatening to take legal action against Deontay Wilder. The timing of all of this was weird to me, but it's only leading to one outcome: ducking. The sources I'm gonna have for this video is coming from BT Sports and Boxing Social. Both of those links to those videos will be in the description below. And I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the interview by now. It is Big John Fury, Tyson Fury's dad. He's pretty much saying what he thinks should happen and what Fury should do. Saying what he would do, and possibly threatening legal action, and saying that legal action is probably the best recourse, other than having a trilogy fight. The first clip I'm about to show you is from Boxing Social. Take a look at this clip. We'll break it out.
As a man, as a sportsman, he's a horrible person. And just speak my mind. You know, he's a sore loser. If it was me messing with Deontay Wilder, I'd have him in court. I'd say either prove your accusations or be quiet, because you're going to be in court, mate. But Tyson don't defend himself enough for me. He just let things happen. He takes everything and gives nothing back. I'm a man who defends my honour.
There you have it, man. Again, this is the first clip. I got this from Boxing Social, from their YouTube page. The link is in the description. I want to break this down real quick. As you heard John Fury say that, first off, he said if he was his son, if he was Tyson, that he would defend his honor, man. He said that he will tell Deontay Wilder to prove your accusations or shut up about it. I'll take you to court. Doesn't he think his son tried that already? I'm just curious. Doesn't he think his son brought all this up during the arbitration about a month ago? I don't know, man. But here's part two, man. Real quick. I'm gonna try to make this video quick as possible. Here's part two of what John Fury had to say about taking this son, trying to defend his son, man. Trying to say that his son should take Deontay Wilder to court instead of possibly fighting him for the third time. Keep listening.
I don't even know why he doesn't even deserve a third fight, does he? He's a horrible person. He got battered to death. What can he do? He's not improved, has he? You know, and with his Mickey Mouse coach there, I've seen what's going on with him. Tyson will annihilate him this time.
Okay, let's freeze it right there real quick. The insult part don't bother me. That's part of the sport. The talking shit, that's part of the sport. So call him Elite Scott, the Mickey Mouse coach. It is what it is. That's his coach. It's just talk. What got me is he doesn't deserve a third fight. He doesn't deserve to fight. How doesn't he deserve to fight if he was contractually obligated to have a rematch? The champion lost his belt and he had a rematch clause to revenge his loss. Your son then tried to pull out of the fight and make another fight once, again I say once, the quote-unquote slander started. Because before Deontay Wilder came out with the quote-unquote accusations, Fury was down for the fight. He was saying that I got to smash Deontay Wilder again. That was what he said when he announced the major fight with AJ back last summer. So his son was ready for the fight. But as soon as the quote-unquote slander started, and once Deontay Wilder finally said what all us fans were saying was, damn, he probably was cheated. Look at the gloves, this shit look weird. Then once he started putting all the facts together, he's like, yo, this man cheated me. And once Deontay Wilder came out and said that, all of a sudden now all of a sudden he don't deserve to fight again. Now Deontay Wilder don't deserve to fight because he's slandering his son. But I had to pause it right there. Again, we're gonna get to it. It's from Boxing Social. The link's in the description. He rather go to court than fight Deontay again. He rather take Deontay Wilder to court instead of watch his son fight Deontay Wilder, a man that he beat easy. Let's keep watching, man. It's a weird interview. Keep watching.
No, because he said that much crap. You know, people are going to rip him to pieces over it. You know, he said this and said that, and it's all false, untrue, rubbish, bull, shit. And he thinks, if I adopt the silent treatment, I haven't got to explain myself, because he couldn't. Deontay Wilder's a liar. That's what he is. He's a liar. He's a bad sportsman. He's like a big kid. He's horrible. I've got nothing good to say about the man at all. Nothing good at all. Because people like that, they're at the bottom of my list as men.
All right, let's hold it right there for a second. Again, this from Boxing Social. The link's in the description. I don't know what people like Fury or the Fury fans or his father or even the press that was there at the press conference. I don't know what they was expecting. If Deontay Wilder came out with the accusations, he came out on 78 Sports TV. Shout out to 78. He came out and gave a full interview, like a couple of them, I believe, like maybe 2 or 3 interviews, talking about the accusations. But that wasn't good enough for them. They wanted him to say it on stage. They wanted for him to say it on stage. You know why they wanted him to say it on stage? Because they wanted to question him. They wanted to question him to his face, which is fine. I mean, it's the press's job. You want to ask a question yourself. But you coming from an area of I don't believe him anyway. If you're the press, I understand John Fury. I understand where John Fury coming from to a certain degree. He knows his son did dirt, but he's not going to admit to that. So of course he's going to call Deontay Wilder a liar. But he wanted Wilder to come on stage. Fury did too. They wanted Wilder to come on stage and talk about the allegations, but not to prove his point about the allegations. They wanted him to go on stage and talk about the allegations because it would have showed weakness. If Deontay Wilder went up there on that stage and was emotional about it and go on that stage and be all quote unquote violent, I say, if he would have came on the stage violently and tried to provoke Fury or tried to they try to go out there and make an ass of himself. I'm gonna say it. He make an ass of himself. They was expecting him to do. They was expecting Wilder to go up there and act ghetto. I'm gonna go ahead and use the word. They equate black people with being angry already. Wilder had enough time to look at the evidence that he got, look at his injuries, assess it. He had time to mentally coast through it. This is what they fucked up at and don't even know it. He had time to mentally coast through it and mentally prepare for a fight with Fury. So at that point on stage, man, he wasn't about that drama shit. He put his headphones on, like, man, I'm listening to, I think he said he was listening to Sunshine Anderson. I heard it all before. He heard it all before. What was he going to say? He passed the drama shit. He was ready to go to fucking war. He was ready to fight. I just had to break that part down real quick. I don't understand what everybody say. Why did Wilder showed weakness because he had his headphones on? Wilder didn't want to talk because he's full of shit. That has nothing to do with Wilder. Why Wilder didn't speak? Wilder did not speak because he didn't said it already. He didn't gave 2 or 3 interviews. Look him up online. Go to 78 Sports TV's page and look it up and listen to what he had to say about it. Why would he have to go on stage and say it again? Just for y'all entertainment, because obviously that's all y'all want it for. Y'all want it for y'all entertainment, because y'all ain't listening to what he's saying. But let's go back to the topic of the video, which is John Fury talking about taking his son to court. His son taking Wilder to court. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's see what he had to say about that shit next. Let's look.
But I wouldn't, honestly, if it was me, he'd never be getting the fight. Because he don't deserve it, because of the way he's performed. Tysons cheated, he had something in his glove. This, that, and the other. I've never seen much shite in my life come out of one boxer's mouth. Because they can't take it, because he got the biggest beatdown in world boxing history. And he'll get another beatdown again. But this time, his health's at stake.
Again, real quick, I'm going to pause that real quick right there. I don't have much to say about what he said there. I'll just go refer you to what I said earlier. But I'm gonna play this clip right here. Play this clip real quick, and I'm gonna see if you can pick out the difference in tone. Hold on a second.
He can raise his game for Wilder. Whether he gets complacent, makes a mistake, but I don't know. It's got every chance of going wrong out there. Because I don't like how it's been handled. It's been badly handled, and that's just my opinion, no one else's. Tyson knows what he's doing. But I say, get back on a plane. Let's have a look at the situation properly. Let's assess it. But, there's no bright lights and glitz here, is there? Probably see a different Deontay Wilder this time. Probably a lot different.
That video, that interview is about a month ago. That's link in the description for that video interview. That is from BT Sports. So between now and then, a month ago till about 3 days ago when he gave this interview, his tone had a drastic change in it. And this one, he's talking about how he wasn't sure his son was gonna be able to wake up for Wilder, and how you might see a different Deontay Wilder this time. It's really weird to me. Again, I'm not gonna go all the way back to the first fight, or the rematch, I should say, because in the rematch he was kind of singing the same tone. But then now he got this tone when Fury extends the fight. Because when he was fighting this weekend coming up, when he was supposed to fight this Saturday, he gave that interview talking about how he wasn't sure his son was going to raise his game for Wilder, and he was right. Because rumors are true, Fury was getting his ass beat in sparring, so he knew his dad knew that he wasn't going to be able to raise his game. But now he's confident again. But there's a difference in this confidence than it was from the rematch. I'm gonna keep on playing. Let's keep on listening to the interview, and I'm gonna break it down for you. Let's keep on watching.
Can't even talk on a press conference because of what he said, because he hasn't got no answers for his lies, his accusation, his bullshit. And like if it was me being caught, I'd say, right, prove them. Let's have a court case. Forget the boxing. You're in court, pal. But nobody listens to me. I'd fix on me, I'll tell you that.
If it was him, he would have him in court. It will be no fight. It will be no boxing match. It will be in court. But why though? This is a question I would like to ask John. He said in part of this video, he said he hasn't talked to his son. He only talked to his son 4 times since the fight was made, and it was small talk. So obviously his son is keeping him in the dark about a lot of this situation. So you kind of don't want to give him a pass, because he's still kind of being dumb, but you kind of got to give him a pass because Tyson is keeping his dad in the dark for a reason. But doesn't his dad have enough common sense to know that Fury brought up these same topics in court last month for arbitration? Why wouldn't he bring that up as a reason to not fight Deontay? You don't think he tested the waters to see if that was possibly a lawsuit for slander? He could have sued him for damages on his name, or whatever legal terminology you want to use. You don't think he tried that? I'm pretty sure he's seen that. I'm pretty sure Fury had a glimpse of what Wilder would have showed in that case, in that lawsuit, if he did it. And that is why Tyson Fury, that is why he went in training camp and tried to do it legit this time, but got his ass beat, rumored to have his ass beat by F.A. Jagba and Big Baby Anderson, because he was trying. This is the first time probably in a while he actually had a training camp where he wasn't doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. But I digress, man. Take him to court. I'd rather see the fight. I think this is the whole reason why Deontay took him to arbitration first instead of suing them for, cheating. It's easier just to get him back in the ring. You already got a contract signed saying that you obligated to it. Just take him to arbitration, win another fight, proving the fight that you was cheated, and then take him to court to prove the accusations, to get that loss on your record and all. It's a no contest. But I digress. Let's keep watching. It's almost over. Let's keep watching, because he brought up the court talk again. It's like John Fury trying to give his son a message to not fight Deontay. Just go to court, man. It's just go to court. Tie this up in the court system.
For only one paycheck, it's for the big kid, my son. But, I don't know, you know. Tyson won't give him $10. Never mind step aside money. Tyson won't give him 5 shilling because Tyson just want to give him a good hiding. He said, I'd rather beat him up again than pay him any money. He says, he's nobody. He's no good. I'll walk straight through him, he said, again. So why would I want to give that step aside money? I'll clean him up, he said, and I'll go straight to Joshua.
Again, a very confusing, really confusing interview. So in one breath, you telling your son that he should take him to court. But then in the same breath, you saying, oh, my son didn't want to pay him step aside money. That he wanted to beat him up. He wanted to tear him down and all the other UK bash talk. But it's kind of weird, man, because like a month ago, the talk of step aside money was brought up again. Let's see what he had to say about step aside money, you know, a month ago.
You know, from last escapade, why wouldn't you take a $20 million step aside without fighting and a guaranteed shot at the winner when you're fighting for a lot less money than $20 million?
So a month ago, he was curious and wondering why Deontay Wilder wouldn't take $20 million step aside money with the what dibs on the winner. He couldn't understand why Deontay Wilder turned down $20 million. But in this phrase, he's saying that his son wasn't going to pay Deontay Wilder $20 million. So where does he give his information from? I'm curious. I know he ain't getting it from Bob, because Bob ain't paying nobody on $20 million step aside money. Bob Arum is not doing that. Bob Arum won't pay for a Terence Crawford opponent. So you know he's not going to pay Deontay Wilder to not be an opponent. Come on now. Maybe his son mentioned it to him. Maybe his son was trying to give him $20 million and Deontay turned it down. Deontay Wilder just spent a year taking the man to court for a fight. He didn't take the man to court for $20 million. But I digress, man. Where does he get his information from? Is his son getting him the information? Is he coming up and pulling that shit out of his ass? I can't tell. This man is all over the place, and he's making his son look bad. But keep watching. You're gonna hear him say. You're gonna hear the concern in his voice for his son. He's gonna have some concern in his voice. He's going to wonder why his son ain't doing what he's telling him to do. Keep watching.
I'm sick to death of looking at boxing, you know, because of the politics in it. It's not enjoyable anymore because you can put a 6 to 8 week camp in, all of a sudden things happen, you know, to mar the job and ruin everything. So, I don't know. The only fight I want to see is AJ. That's the only heavyweight fight I'm interested in seeing, is AJ putting his spanner in the works on his people. Politics of boxing. Let's just say the mafia of boxing. They've had the say, and that's why we're in the position we're in now. And I'll speak the truth for me. Mafia of boxing's reared its ugly head and interfering with things, aren't they? Because they're after the biggest prize and the richest prize in sport, staying in America, which I don't blame them.
You hear the concern in his voice. The boxing mafia, like the Americans over here is the boxing mafia. They want Deontay Wilder to win so he can fight for undisputed, to be the American undisputed champion. Yeah, I'm gonna let you UK fans know in the secret, which I'm pretty sure y'all know this already. But a lot of Americans don't like Deontay Wilder either. Black and white. There's a lot of black folks who don't like Deontay Wilder here, which is weird to me. But mostly of the white people here do not like Deontay Wilder, and they do not care for him to be undisputed. They much rather cheer for your son. They much rather cheer for you as a white man being undisputed champion. They would feel more inspired if you would want it more than Deontay Wilder. It just is what it is. So you saying that the boxing mafia, which I'm pretty sure you probably talking about Bob Arum, the boxing mafia got you concerned or whatever. Wasn't your son linked to a global mob? Isn't he still linked to them? I don't understand. It seems like the mob is on your side. But it is what it is. in closing, man, I just want to play this part. This part right here is from a month ago. This is what he said a month ago. And if you would have watched this whole interview, like I said, the link's in the description for Boxing Social. He goes on to more detail about the court and why he think his son should take it to court instead of fighting him. And if he was his son, he wouldn't fight Deontay again. He goes in more detail than that. He actually go in there and say, he went in there and said some shit like, he was actually saying that Deontay Wilder can fight Dillian White for $1 million, and that he should, if he wasn't for his son, that Deontay Wilder will be fixing buses where he from. After he loses to this, I forgot it was some bullshit like that. It was a longer interview. It was hard to watch. That ain't something I would watch again. But yeah, something like that. He basically saying his son is the big money. There's plenty of videos, people breaking that down. But I'm gonna say this about it. Your son was 400 pounds 2 years ago. Your son was out of the sport, suspended in his own country, which he still is suspended from his own country in boxing. Deontay Wilder told him to get off the couch and get in shape. Since Deontay Wilder extended that hand, your son has had 2 warm-up fights before the first. He fought Deontay, got his biggest payday. Had 2 more warm-ups before the rematch on Deontay Wilder's name, which didn't sell shit here in America. That was actually giving away more tickets than they actually sold. And then had his largest payday again with Deontay Wilder. Aside from the AJ fight, your son has no other options. What's your son gonna do? All right, I'm gonna debunk this real quick to a lot of UK people. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. How many of you UK fans was actually over here for the Ala Waleem fight? Because when I was watching it on TV, I didn't hear Sweet Caroline being sung. I didn't hear there's only one Tyson Fury throughout the whole fight. So if Tyson Fury is the cash cow and Deontay Wilder is the one that needs Tyson Fury to sell, why when he fought Ala Waleem, it was nothing but cheers in the crowd? It wasn't no Sweet Carolines. But then I'm out. This is TTB. This is Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. You just got chin checked.
I hope it never happens with Wilder. How's that? I hope it never happens with him. That's the truth.